Good morning, Election Advisory Committee members and members of the public. I'm recording our January of 2024 Election Administrator update, and I had a few different items that I was excited to cover with you guys. We'll talk a bit about redistricting. We'll talk about election judge recruitment and training. We will talk about some of the projects remaining from our last EAC meeting, sign updates for signage at our campus, as well as updates to the bylaws. And then we will finish up with a little bit of important information for some important dates coming forward. So without any further ado, I'd like to jump right in and talk about some of our redistricting process. The redistricting process is being completed this week. We've been working closely with the Secretary of State's office as well as the state's library to implement all of the changes to our redistricting into the voter database. It requires coordination of our office, our Geographic Information Systems Department, as well as the Montana State Library's GIS Department, the Secretary of State's database, and our office here directly with elections. So it takes a little bit to make each of these changes. We are excited to be finishing up this process, and we will be sending out voter confirmation cards to people in the public. And I'll have a couple of examples of those that I'll share with you on the screen right now. Those will allow us to show the voter confirmation cards that are going out. One second as I pull these up. On our voter confirmation cards, they're going to show the polling location as well as the absentee status for each of the different people in the county. So you can see here some of our voter confirmation cards getting ready to go out. It shows the polling place for every voter that's in an active status, and then it also shows your absentee status. Are you a polling place voter or are you on the absentee list? So for this voter, they would vote at Lolo School on the election day coming forward. In addition to sending out these cards by the end of the month, we will be doing some press releases and then follow up as we get closer to election day. For all of our polling place voters, they're going to receive an additional mailing similar to this mailing, which explains that their polling location has been moved. It also states that they are a polling place voter, and if they would like to, they can use the form included to sign up to receive an absentee ballot, either for the upcoming election or for all elections. So we'll be covering it by sending out the mailing in January, which is voter confirmation cards like this to all voters. Then we'll also, as we get closer to the election, send polling place voters a specific outreach. The new tool, myvoterpagemt.com, for the Secretary of State, is going to be our main tool we direct voters to gain information about changes to those polling places. So our redistricting is wrapping up. We'll have everything inputted into the database in time for our candidate filing, which will take place starting next week. And as we go forward with this, we will be doing specific outreach to our polling place voters. Remember, 85% of our active voters in Missoula County vote by mail already. So while it's important for them to know their polling location, many of them will receive their ballot in the mail. So that's our quick update on election redistricting. Next, I wanted to talk about Give a Day for Democracy and election judge training and recruitment. Election judge training and recruitment will be taking place very shortly. So we will be opening up election judge training and recruitment in February, and the signups are open right now. So as I'm pulling up to the screen here, you should be able to see the election judge training window. If you go to MissoulaElectionJudge.com, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, you can see our classes that are available for the end of February and March. And with each of these classes, we currently have almost 400 election judges already signed up. And we're deep into our Give a Day for Democracy outreach right now. I have central committee meetings scheduled for next week, as well as I have meetings with service groups and other organizations that are underway. So we'll be revisiting Give a Day for Democracy and chatting a little bit about that. We can always use your help. I'll forward out those emails from previous meetings about how we can sign up and make that connection to make sure we're not missing any groups. We'll need over 600 election judges, so we're about 2/3 of the way there. And we've got about 2 solid months of recruitment to go through. So we're doing really fantastic on election judge recruitment and training. An exciting new feature for election judge training is we had recorded new videos for election judge training. We gave these an update. We had asked that the Secretary of State record videos to be sent out for everybody to use, but they did not produce those videos yet. So we took the opportunity to coordinate with the Montana Association of Clerk and Recorders and Election Administrators and record videos. We updated and worked with the Secretary of State to confirm language, and we're currently editing those, and they'll be available through the Association of Clerk and Recorders YouTube page so that all of the different counties across Montana can utilize these to help assist with training. I wanted to touch base a little bit about a couple of the different items that were on my radar to follow up on from the last meeting. Specifically, I wanted to discuss our election judge, specifically, I wanted to discuss our bylaw changes and sign updates. We were able to hold a meeting and had a few different staff come in and review signage and flow during the election to help make sure that we had good signage and flow throughout our campus. We'll be meeting with our communications department, construction department, as well as the Office of Emergency Management, which shares this space. And we have a good plan to get new signage in place for the June elections to help direct voters where to go. So thank you for participating in this. Thank you for coming to those meetings. And we're going to use that information to guide the final decisions made. In addition to that, we had a discussion about bylaw changes. Specifically, we had discussed the EAC position for student members, and we wanted to make this easier to recruit for and easier to retain. One of the areas we were trying to overcome was that many of our great election advisory committee members will graduate and then they're no longer a student. So we did propose a bylaw change that you can see here that states that they must be half-time basis when they apply for the position, which would allow them to finish off a term and keep some continuity in that. The other area that we discussed was the time frame of when that position starts. And so as a proposal to present forward and discuss, we did make the change that this position would expire on the 31st and that new student members would begin on the 1st of September. We have the ability as the committee to take a look at those dates and times to see what's going to work best. And we plan on reaching out and discussing this more fully before we make any final decisions. In addition to those different items, we are in the heart of candidate filing and preparations for the upcoming elections. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was candidate filing. School and special district filing is underway currently. And on the 11th, candidate filing for county level positions, state level positions through the state, and precinct committee men and women races will open within the county. So the positions that you'll file for with the county are going to be clerk of district court as well as county commissioner, in addition to precinct committee men and women. In the past, we have run precinct committee men and women races for the central committees, and we'll continue to receive those filings, and we will be slated to run those with the primary election coming forward in June. And that period will open on the 11th and then close on the 11th of March. We're underway with recruitment and training, and we are looking forward to an exciting 2024. We don't have a lot for this meeting, but anything else that we'd like to discuss, we can bring up during the meeting that we have scheduled for the 9th at 3 p.m. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you all, and I look forward to working with you this next year.